Think your pocket change is just spare cash? Think again. Some U.S. state quarters are selling for thousands, even millions of dollars. Ready to see if you're sitting on a fortune? Imagine for a moment that you are standing at a checkout counter. The total is a few dollars short. So you reach in your pocket, your fingers brushing against the loose change that has been accumulating there for who knows how long. You pull out a few quarters, their edges worn smooth from years of friction. You look at the date on one of them, 2020. It is a Salt River Bay quarter, a beautiful depiction of the mangroves in the U.S. Virgin Islands. You drop it into the cashier's hand without a second thought. In that singular, unremarkable moment, you might have just committed a financial sin that will haunt you forever. You may have just handed away a coin that carries the potential value of a brand new luxury car, a down payment on a house, or a significant chunk of a retirement portfolio. You are staring at the face of a ghost, an apparition so rare that most coin dealers will never even see one in their entire careers, yet has been sitting right under your nose, disguised as pocket fluff. This is the clash of the spender versus the collector. The spender sees a 25-cent piece. The collector sees a historical artifact, a snapshot of a specific moment in time, and a potential windfall. The spender is concerned with the immediate need of the transaction, while the collector is playing the long game of wealth preservation and discovery. In the world of numismatics, the 2020 Salt River Bay quarter is a masterclass in this divide. It forces us to ask a critical question. Why is one coin that looks exactly like its peers worth 1,000 times more than the others? Is it simply the metal it is made of? Or is it the story it tells, the error it carries, and a sheer, breathtaking rarity that elevates it from currency to treasure? This is where we must confront the terrifying reality of the ghost in your pocket. This coin is a phantom because, unlike its 2020 West Point counterparts with the distinctive V75 privy mark commemorating the 75th anniversary of World War II's end, the specific error versions we are about to discuss do not advertise their rarity in an obvious way. They hide in plain sight. The confrontational truth is that the vast majority of the 580.2 million Salt River Bay quarters minted in Philadelphia and the 515 million struck in Denver are worth exactly 25 cents. The key to unlocking six-figure wealth lies in the microscopic anomalies that occur during the striking process, anomalies so subtle that they are often dismissed as wear and tear by the untrained eye. You have to stop looking at the coin and start seeing it. The first of these potential treasure markers is the double die obverse, or DDO. This is not the common machine doubling that plagues many coins and is worth nothing more than its face value. True double die varieties occur when the hub, the die that stamps the design onto the coin, is imprinted twice onto the working die at slightly different angles. This creates a distinct, crisp doubling of the design elements, primarily on the obverse, the head side of the coin. Look specifically at the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." If the letters appear thicker, or if there is a distinct, sharp shadow next to them, you might be looking at the WDO001 variety. The moment of truth, the attention reset that requires you to put this book down and examine your change right now, is understanding the difference between value and noise. As one forum expert noted, raised devices that are double dies are enlarged. Raised devices that have machine doubling, the outside edges of the devices are reduced with the contour missing. If you see flat, shelf-like doubling, it is worthless. If you see crisp, distinct separation, you could be looking at a certified specimen that commands prices between $150 and $400 at auction. But even that is just the opening act. That is the warm-up for the main event. We are talking about the specific error types that drive the market into a frenzy, the kind of anomaly that turns a coin into a $580,000 legend. While the DDO is a collectible variety, the extreme values are reserved for catastrophic manufacturing errors. Imagine a planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, entering the press without its outer layer of copper-nickel cladding. The result is a coin that looks almost entirely copper, a red quarter, as it is known in the hobby, and one such coin has sold for as much as $2,499. Now, imagine a planchet that is completely wrong, perhaps a dime planchet or something even more exotic, being struck with a Salt River Bay dies. That is a wrong planchet error, and the value can skyrocket into the thousands of dollars. But the holy grail of this series, the absolute pinnacle of the ghost coin phenomenon, is the combination of rarity and perfection. We have to talk about the W Mint Mark coins. The West Point Mint released only 2 million quarters for each of the 2020 designs, a mere 2% of the mintage of the Philadelphia Mint. To put that in perspective, finding a Salt River Bay quarter with a W Mint mark is roughly akin to finding a needle in a haystack. One of these pristine, superb gem, uncirculated MS-67 graded 2020 West Salt River Bay quarters sold for $6,600 in April of 2024. This is where the market heat becomes palpable. When a coin has a low mintage, is in perfect condition, and possesses an error, the price is not determined by its face value, but by the competition of wealthy collectors who want to own a piece of that specific history. The demand far outstrips the supply, driving the price to levels that make the financial world take notice. However, let us pause here for a moment of reality, another attention reset. The $580,000 figure represents the absolute ceiling, the theoretical potential for a perfect storm coin. It is the number that captures the imagination and sparks the treasure hunt. It is the price of a coin that combines a significant error with a top-tier grade like MS-68 and is sold in a high-stakes auction environment where two collectors are determined to win. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. But the possibility, that slim, tantalizing chance that a routine glance at your pocket change could yield a life-altering sum, is the very engine that drives the numismatic world. And now, we arrive at the resolution of our story. What do you do with this information? The call to action is not to rush out and buy coins, but to engage in a systematic search of your own environment. The history of the Salt River Bay quarter is not just a story about coins. It is a story about the hidden wealth that surrounds us, the wealth we are trained to ignore. The U.S. Mint produced these coins in massive numbers, but within that ocean of commonality, there are islands of incredible scarcity. The key is to be an informed collector, not a passive spender. The market trends are clear. Interest in modern era coins is growing, driven by the democratization of information through online forums and auction archives. People are realizing that their pocket change is a lottery ticket they have been ignoring for decades. This creates urgency. The longer these coins sit in circulation, the more they wear down, lowering their grade and, consequently, their value. A coin found today in a high grade is worth more than the same coin found in 5 years after it has been worn smooth by countless transactions. The time to look is now. Do not treat this as a passive reading experience. Treat it as an excavation manual for your own future wealth. A 2020 Salt River Bay quarter might not be a gold bullion, but for those with the knowledge and the persistence to look, it is pure, untapped financial potential. So, as you finish reading, take this final attention reset seriously. Go to your change jar. Go to the cup holder in your car. Go to the desk drawer where you toss your loose change at the end of the day. Look for the 2020 date. Look for the mangroves of Salt River Bay. And then look closer. If you find a coin with a W Mint mark, a coin that seems unusually copper-toned, or one where the letters appear to be printed twice, do not spend it. Do not even touch it with your bare fingers, as the oils from your skin can permanently degrade its surface and reduce its value. Place it carefully in a protective sleeve and consult a professional grading service. This is the moment where the spender and the collector diverge. This is the cliffhanger. The 2020 Salt River Bay quarter is just the tip of the iceberg, a warm-up act for the world of ultra-rare coins that are still hiding in circulation. Next time, we will uncover the shocking secret of the 2019 W quarter that sold for over $40,000, a coin with a story that will make this one look like pocket change. Until then, keep your eyes sharp, your change jar accessible, and your mind open to the possibility that fortune is just a flip of the coin away. Look down, right now, at the change in your pocket, the coins in your car's cup holder, or that dusty jar on your nightstand. We have all been there, standing at a register, digging for exact change, carelessly tossing coins into a tray without a second thought. We treat them as nothing more than heavy, inconvenient metal. But in that moment of financial apathy, a war is waged. The war between the spender and the collector. The spender sees a quarter. The collector sees a canvas of potential wealth. Most people are spenders. They liquidate history for a pack of gum. But you? You are about to join a very elite group of individuals who know that the greatest fortunes are often hiding in plain sight. I am talking about the 2015 Kisatchie National Forest Quarter. Now, before you yawn and scroll away, consider this. While most of these coins are barely worth the metal they are stamped on, a microscopic fraction of them have sold for astronomical sums. We're not talking about a $50 win. We're talking about a potential payout that could clear your mortgage, fund your retirement, or buy you that classic car you've been dreaming of. The numismatic market is currently ablaze, and the 2015 Kisatchie is the enigma that has the experts scratching their heads. The fear of missing out is real, because if you have one of these specific errors sitting in your collection, you are literally holding a ghost, a coin that shouldn't exist in the form it does. Let's rewind to 2015. The U.S. Mint released the Kisatchie quarter to honor the lush, sprawling Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana. With a mintage of nearly 400 million for the Philadelphia Mint alone, these coins are ubiquitous. They feature a stunning reverse design of a wild turkey in flight over bluestem grass, with the incuse lettering that defines the America the Beautiful series. In a standard, uncirculated grade, you might get a premium of a few dollars, maybe $5 to $8 if you're lucky. The spender looks at this and sees a soda. But for the collector, the hunt is about the anomaly. It is about the ghost in the machine. See, the mint is a creature of perfectionism, but it is also a creature of chaos. When the dies stamp millions of coins, things go wrong. Pressure builds, metal shifts, and errors are born. However, the specific errors on the 2015 P and D Kisatchie quarters are not just errors. They're unique artifacts of a specific mechanical breakdown that is almost impossible to replicate. I need you to pause right now. Seriously, pause this video, grab that quarter in your pocket, and flip it over. Look at the lettering. Look at the details. Don't worry, I'll wait. That moment of inspection is the difference between wealth and poverty. So what makes a 2015 Kisatchie quarter worth the rumored value of up to $633,000? It isn't a simple scratch or a slight misalignment. We are diving deep into the world of displaced design strike doubling and machine doubling that goes beyond the cosmetic. Most collectors are familiar with machine doubling or shelf doubling, which is generally considered damage or a minor strike variation that doesn't add significant value. But the Kisatchie has shown us something else entirely. We are talking about a phenomenon so rare that even veteran error specialists at CANECA, the combined organizations of numismatic error collectors of America, have flagged it as a category breaker. Let's get technical. The key to this coin's astronomical value lies in what is happening on the reverse. Look closely at the lettering, specifically E pluribus unum. In some of these extreme error examples, the doubling is not the typical flattened, shelf-like distortion. Instead, the die bounce is so aggressive that it literally forms a new partial image of the incuse letters. This is displaced design strike doubling. It's a situation where the high points of the die, rather than just smearing the existing image, punch a new, independent image into the planchet. One of the most shocking examples reported involved a proof 2015 silver quarter where the letters LO of Louisiana were entirely displaced into a new position. Attention reset. Let that sink in. This isn't just a double strike. It is a manufacturing anomaly that fools the eye into thinking you are looking at a fantasy piece. But it is real, and it is incredibly rare. Prior to this specific type of dramatic die bounce doubling had only been documented on a handful of coins, like the 1992 P. Jefferson nickel and a 1994 Lincoln cent. That is how rare the precedent is. The proof versions like the 2015 S are already collectible, but when they carry this specific strike doubling where the design is fully displaced, the market goes insane. Now, for the moment of truth. What is it worth? Let's be clear. Your standard, beat-up 2015 Kisatchie is still just 25 cents. A high-grade, uncirculated MS-68 will set you back a few hundred or even up to $1,795 for a first strike label. But the heavy hitters, the true errors with the displaced design doubling on the reverse and the massive die chips or doubling on the obverse, these are the ones that drive the speculation to six figures. Why? Because unlike typical errors, these specimens are almost impossible to find. The mint did not make millions of these mistakes. The die would fail almost immediately, or the adjustment that caused the bounce was fixed after just a few strikes. Coupled with the fact that only a handful of the proof versions, the S-Mint marked ones, exist with this flaw, the rarity pushes the price into the realm of $633,000 for the absolute finest known examples. The market heat is real. Collectors aren't just collecting coins anymore. They are collecting mechanical histories. They want the unique population of one, the coin that is unlike any other struck by that die. The urgency is here. As the America, the beautiful series ages, the demand for these ghost errors is skyrocketing. A coin that sold for $5 a decade ago is now being re-examined under microscopes and sent to PCGS and NGC for specialized labels. The action is moving fast. The spenders of the world will sell these for face value. Unaware, they are flushing a fortune down the drain. The collectors, the ones who pay attention, are the ones who end up on the podium. So, what is the takeaway here? It is time to look closer. The 2015 Kisatchie quarter is proof that our modern economy is still hiding treasures. The difference between a life of financial mediocrity and a life of hidden wealth is the willingness to stop and look. If you find a 2015 Kisatchie with strange doubling that doesn't look like a smudge, especially on the letters E pluribus unum or the date, do not spend it. Put it in a safe. Get it graded. You might be holding the keys to your financial future. Don't let this be another one that got away story. We are living in a time where a piece of pocket change can change your life. If this got your heart pumping, you need to stay vigilant. The 2015 Kisatchie is just the tip of the iceberg. We are currently tracking another ultra-rare ghost coin, the 2014 D Shenandoah quarter, that is exhibiting similar anomaly doubling, and the rumblings in the auction houses suggest it might break the $1 million barrier. But that is a story for another time. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that report. Check your jars, check your rolls, and stay rich. In one hand, you hold a handful of loose change, a collection of metals minted by the government that you probably overlook every single day. In the other hand, you have the potential for a life-changing sum of money. It is a decision between being a spender who sees pocket change as a nuisance and a collector who sees it as a hidden treasure chest. Today, we are not talking about a rare painting in a museum or a piece of real estate in Manhattan. We're talking about a piece of American history that could be sitting at the bottom of your purse, your couch cushions, or that old coffee can in your garage. We are talking about the 2019 San Antonio Mission's $2, a coin that, under the right circumstances, could be worth up to $700,000. You are about to discover why this specific quarter is being called the most important coin to find in modern American history, and why you need to check your change right now. Let's get into the facts. The year is 2019, and the United States Mint decided to do something unprecedented. For the first time ever, they released quarters bearing the W Mint mark into general circulation. This is the Mint mark for the West Point Mint, a facility historically known for producing bullion and proof coins, not the pocket change you find at the grocery store. They released 10 million of these quarters across 5 different designs, representing just 1% of all quarters produced that year. To put that in perspective, the Philadelphia and Denver mints churned out over 100 million of their respective versions. The West Point quarters were the ghost coins, intentionally mixed into bulk bags and sent to banks across the country. The purpose was to reignite interest in coin collecting, but the effect was the creation of an instant treasure hunt. While the standard W quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch around $100 to $400 at auction, that is merely the starting point. The real magic, the real alchemy that turns 25 cents into a small fortune, lies in the specific errors that occurred during the minting process. Now, here is where the technical investigation begins. The United States Mint prides itself on precision, but the reality is that these machines are not perfect. They are mass production engines, and occasionally, they produce anomalies known as mint errors. The 2019 San Antonio Missions Quarter is one of those specific instances where these anomalies have created a numismatic goldmine. However, we have to be extremely careful here because the market is flooded with misinformation. Let's break down what you are looking for. The most common types of errors on these W Mint Mark quarters are often die-related. You have struck-through grease errors, where a mixture of lubricant and metal dust clogs the die, preventing the design from fully transferring onto the coin. This can result in missing letters or faint details. Then you have die chips, where a small piece of metal breaks off the die and creates a raised lump of metal on the coin. There are also die cracks and cuds, where the die itself fractures, leaving raised lines or a blob of metal near the edge. Many online sellers will try to pass off a minor die chip as a rare variety, but as any seasoned numismatist will tell you, many of these so-called errors are common and practically worthless. For instance, you might see a coin described as a spitting Washington or a drooling George. Be very wary of these names. These are often just internet nicknames for die chips that add little to no value to knowledgeable collectors. So, if minor die chips are not the ticket to wealth, what is? The elite-level error collectors are looking for something much more profound. They're looking for errors that fundamentally change the physical structure of the coin. Think about a broad-struck coin, which happens when the collar that holds the coin in place during striking is not in position, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond its normal diameter. Or consider a clipped planchet, where the metal blank used to make the coin was improperly cut, leaving a straight or curved missing edge. But the absolute holy grail, the ghost in the machine that drives the $700,000 valuation, would be a catastrophic mint error. Think of a mule, where the coin is struck with dies that were not meant for each other, like a quarter obverse paired with a dollar reverse, or a genuine double denomination error. However, there is a catch. I need to draw a hard line here and tell you that true mule errors in this series are incredibly rare. The Mint took extra precautions to ensure these special W Mint Mark quarters were pristine, which makes any major error exceptionally scarce. The hundreds of thousands price tag is reserved for the coin that defies all odds. It is the coin that not only has the West Point Mint mark, but also a confirmed major mint error that is easily visible and verifiable. We also need to talk about the potential for being misled. It is crucial to understand the difference between a mint error and post-mint damage. For example, if you find a quarter that seems to have a misshapen edge or a strange seam, it might be a novelty coin. Some people manufacture double-sided coins by fusing two quarters together for magic tricks. These are not mint errors. They are post-mint alterations and hold no numismatic value. A genuine double-struck coin has a specific history of being struck incorrectly at the mint, and it takes a professional eye to tell the difference. This is why the concept of authentication is so vital. The numismatic market is a land of sharp contrasts, where the difference between a 25-cent coin and a $700,000 coin often comes down to a piece of paper from a trusted grading service. Now, let's address the price tag. You are likely asking yourself, how can a quarter be worth $700,000? It is the intersection of three powerful market forces: extreme rarity, historical significance, and collector mania. A standard, high-grade 2019 W San Antonio Missions quarter can be worth up to $405. But the coin we're discussing today is not standard. It is a perfect storm of scarcity. The Mint deliberately created a low mintage, which drove the baseline value. Then, the error market is inherently driven by the idea that the coin should not exist. The idea that a coin of such low mintage, which was intended to be perfect, could be the vessel for a freak accident at the Mint makes it immensely desirable. There is an error listing online for similar quarters in the $2 to $3 range, but those are minor varieties. The $700,000 figure is a theoretical ceiling based on historical precedent for similar catastrophic errors in other coin series. It is the figure that gets the attention of Wall Street traders and high net worth investors who view rare coins as alternative assets. When a coin is this rare, the price is not a reflection of the metal content. It is a reflection of the struggle to own it. This brings us to the emotional and strategic core of your journey. Finding this coin is about more than money. It is about a change in mindset. It is about shifting your perspective from passive consumer to active curator of your own wealth. We have been conditioned to view the change in our pockets as insignificant, but that is a dangerous belief. Every time you break $1 and receive a handful of coins, you are participating in a centuries-old distribution network for potential wealth. The fear of missing out is real because you never know when you're going to walk past that $700,000 coin. The excitement is in the process. It is the hunt. It is that moment when you pull out a quarter, see the glint of a W mint mark, and feel your heart skip a beat. Do not be the person who takes that coin to a Coinstar machine to cash in for a gift card. Be the person who examines it under a magnifying glass. Be the person who does the research. Be the person who knows the difference between a worthless die chip and a potential game-changing broad-stroke error. The market is hot right now. The surge in interest in modern coin errors shows that the appetite for discovery is at an all-time high. The market values education. If you do your homework, you will be in a position to identify value where others see nothing. So, I challenge you. Stop scrolling. Pause the video. Go get that jar of change you have been ignoring. Spread the coins out on the counter. Use your phone's magnifying feature and look for the W mint mark. Are there any strange lumps or missing letters? Does the edge of the coin look off? You're looking for the ghost of a coin, the anomaly that slipped through the system. You are looking for the 2019 San Antonio Mission's $quarter that could change your life. Remember, the next time you reach into your pocket for a coffee, take a second look. The United States Mint sent these coins out to be found, and they're still out there. They are waiting for the person who pays attention. They are waiting for you.